where we talk about the weird, paranormal, mysterious right here on YouTube. As always, I am your host, Heather, and for today's episode, we're going to one of the very many haunted places in Illinois, Chicago's very own Lincoln Park Zoo. Back in 1837, the Chicago City Cemetery contained thousands of victims from Chicago's cholera outbreak. As the cemetery grew, Dr. J.H. Rausch began to worry about the bacteria from the bodies contaminating the water supply since the graves were so close to Lake Michigan and below the water table. In 1869, the cemetery, as well as an unused 50-acre plot of the park, was handed over to the Lincoln Park Commissioners. Officials had decided to relocate an estimated 30,000 graves from the park and began notifying families of the deceased to make new burial arrangements. The graves that didn't have any living family members or couldn't be identified were eventually moved by the city. The city began moving the body from Potter's Field to a graveyard for the poor, a poorhouse, tuberculosis hospital, as well as an asylum that was run by Cook County. Here's where things start to get a little complicated. On October 9th, 1871, the Great Chicago Fire had destroyed the majority of the gravestones. Officials had tried to relocate them to find the bodies, but however, they were unsuccessful in their attempts. The only remaining structure of the graveyard is the couch tomb. Supposedly, the reason is the city didn't have the $3,000 to move it, which nowadays would equal about $94,000. And these are those moments where I wish I could take the little tiny itty bitty amount of money that I have to my name and like travel back in time, because it's probably my only chance of ever owning a mansion and like a bunch of little cars and a ranch and goats, lots of goats. That's totally my dream one day, believe it or not. Anyways, after the fire, an estimated 10 to 15,000 bodies were undiscovered and left behind and still rest under the park to this very day. Today, Lincoln Park is about 1,200 acres, which is home to a golf course, bike trails, hiking paths, a history museum, beaches, bird refuges, playgrounds, and of course, the Lincoln Park Zoo. The zoo was built in the 1870s directly over the cemetery site. During construction, bodies were uncovered frequently. One lost body was dug up while building a barn that was proposed by Dr. Lester Fisher to educate children about farming. Since the body could not be identified, Dr. Fisher called the city multiple times to ask what he should do, but since he had never gotten a response, he told the workers to place the skeleton back into the grave and finish construction on the barn, which has become one of the more active areas of the zoo. Another possible culprit for the activity surrounding the park is a 42-foot bridge that stood from 1894 to 1919 and was built so visitors could take in the view of the park. However, the bridge was torn down after receiving its name, the Suicide Bridge, where hundreds of people had either hung or jumped to their deaths. The Lion's Den Ladies' Room seems to be the most active area of the zoo. Women have reported that while washing their hands or fixing their makeup in the mirror, have seen either a male or female in Victorian clothing standing behind them, and when they turn around, no one is there. A male's voice has even been recorded multiple times saying, "Get out, there's a woman here," as if to tell other spirits to give them some privacy. Not like this ghost, because even after death, when he doesn't have to obey any mortal rules, doesn't have to have any morals, he still does. He's like, "Men, dudes, she's gotta use the bathroom. Back up, give her some space." That's respect. Now, what's interesting about the ladies' room and what seems to be the reason of all this activity is the way the bathroom is set up. They have the sinks and the mirrors running parallel to each other, which experts call a portal. Now, the theory is that when two mirrors are facing each other, it creates a bouncing energy back and forth and allows spirits to either harness that energy to manifest themselves or actually get trapped inside. A lot of investigators use something called a devil's toy box, which contains 6 mirrors that supposedly create strong energy that lure spirits to it, which aids in their EVP sessions. You're welcome for that. If you're planning on little investigations, you can grab one of those boxes. Help you out. There's your equipment tip for the day. You are welcome. Witnesses report seeing both male and female ghosts in Victorian clothing walking around the park. They suddenly appear, and when they are finally spotted, they disappear out into thin air. Another woman is seen in the lion's den, seemingly unaware of everything that's going on around her. I can't imagine what that must feel like, to be stuck doing the same thing every day for the rest of eternity. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, is it like a purgatory thing or like a type of punishment in the afterlife that no matter how hard you try to fight it, no matter how hard you try to get away, you're just stuck in the same repetitive movement over and over and over again. And of course, with any haunting, there have been lights flickering for no reason, doors slamming, and shadowy figures lurking around corners and doorways. EVPs have been caught by paranormal investigators, containing both male and female voices and responses to questions being asked. Ursula Bielski, who we'll talk about in a second, caught one female spirit that seemed to show up in multiple places during her investigation. She was quoted saying she was not nice at all. She had kind of a mood disorder. One minute she went from hysterically laughing to becoming vicious. That'll be me when I'm a ghost one day. Because that is me now in real life. I'm lovely. Faces without bodies, as well as full body apparitions that appear in innocent pictures taken by visitors. People feel as if somebody is touching them, and there's also reports of certain areas in the zoo filled with negative energy that where people who are sensitive to it, such as empaths, get immediately nauseous as soon as entering that area. Now back to Ursula Bielski. She is a famed parapsychologist located in Chicago and has even given After Dark tours of the zoo. She was reported saying that this was by far one of the most active sites she had ever investigated. So there you have it. Lincoln Park Zoo's notorious haunted history, with new accounts popping up all the time. Leave a comment down below if you've ever been to the zoo and experienced anything weird on your trip. Thanks for stopping in the channel. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well as the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. And if you really liked me, hit that subscribe button so the channel can grow and give you new content every week. My name is Heather, and I will see you guys next time.